Hello everyone, this is Siddharth Mehta. I am mentor of verbal and reading comprehension at Career Launcher. Today I am here once again with a practice exercise on critical reasoning and reading comprehension. I have picked up a passage from sports and how society perceives the behavior of a sports person. So let us begin. The first thing that we will do is read this passage. I have framed 5 questions around this particular passage that I have picked up from the net, and this passage is about Naomi Osaka's withdrawal from the French Open, and the author has given the argument on it. So why don't you stop your video and read this passage first, and then I will explain you how to go about it. Right. So let us quickly read the passage and try to understand what is the main idea of this passage. So when I first heard about the tennis star Naomi Osaka refusing to attend the post-match interview at Roland Garros because of mental stress, I was a bit taken aback. After all, sports is about mind games. If Naomi is playing a match, loses the first set and goes down a break or two in the second, she needs to have an almost superhuman mental strength to make a comeback. Isn't that what sports are all about? So here, the first paragraph is setting up the background for what is going to be the main point, perhaps. So background is that Naomi Osaka has refused to attend the post-match interview at the French Open, Roland Garros, and the author is surprised by that decision, that why she has refused to do so, because after all, sports does involve mind game. But then author gives the counterpoint and says, but on thinking it over, I realized that I wasn't being fair to Naomi. So now we are getting to the main point. Now author perhaps will support the Naomi's move. Then the next paragraph, author has given the example of her daughter. My daughter has always been speaking, singing, dancing, playing music on stage since she was a baby. But there is some level of anxiety almost always. So I would never dream of forcing her to take a public stage. So now this is an example that why author feels that we are being unfair to Naomi Osaka. So guys, you need to remember, whenever you read a passage, start thinking like examiner. Right, whenever you are reading a passage, if you come across an example which is different from the subject but used to explain a point, question will definitely be asked around it. Now the purpose of me putting these RCs and 5 questions is to help you not only to solve the passages but to help you think like an examiner, how I am thinking. So when I was reading this passage, I came across this example. I thought that it will be a good place to form the question that why author has used this as an example. So we know while reading itself, we can make a guess of the areas from which question can be picked. Now let us proceed. Having a different standard for Naomi Osaka is wrong at this basic level. So now author says that because I treat my daughter in a particular way, I'm treating Naomi Osaka in some other way, or her behavior in some other way. That is wrong. So this part is about this. Now the argument against that is Naomi makes her living from the tennis. Now she is giving, perhaps the author is giving the view on why people think that Naomi has done something wrong. So this is the view of maybe others, what we will say, that she makes her living from tennis. In tennis makes the money to pay her home, pay her from the fans who pay to watch the sports. Those fans come because they're interested in the player's sport. Therefore, tennis players have responsibility to give back to the sport by entertaining the fans so that they keep them coming back for more. This is what people or the others believe, those who are against the move that Naomi has made. They believe that she makes her living from tennis and it's a responsibility to entertain the fans. Now here it is author's view. So this passage, if you see, what author has done is she has picked up a point of view and presented her view, then presented the counter view. So this is now author's view. Author is saying that my counter to that is that there are 2 levels to entertaining the fans. One is playing the game and the other is media story around the players and teams or whatever. So she says that this is not the only way to entertain. There are 2 ways to entertain the fans. One is playing the game and other is of course the media story. So every time Naomi plays, she is sacrificing her body, doing this, and she by her performance is entertaining the world. So this is author view. So author's view is that, so my argument is our fans get their money worth every time Naomi plays. So author says that there are two ways to entertain the fans, and one way is playing the game at high level and the other is media story around it. So if Naomi is playing the game and entertaining people, why to add media duties to her? The counter to that argument, what argument? The counter to that argument that we should not add media duties to Naomi or players like her who are anyways entertaining fans through their game. The counter to that argument is the media hypes up the interest in a match or a player and exponentially increases the number of fans who will pay to watch the sports blank. So perhaps a question, I have framed a question around it. So what will follow next, that kind of thing. So the last paragraph talks about that the counter to this argument that don't add media duties to tennis players is that media hypes up the match or a player, and because of that hype fans visit and pay to watch the sport. So it is about payment. All right, let us see. So the passage we have understood. The question one, as I have told you, I gave you the hint that I will form the question. Anytime you come across an example, chances are very high that question will be formed around it. Why has author given example of her daughter in the passage? The example was given to say that she is judging Naomi by some other using some other glasses, using some other parameters. So answer is, let us see. Option A, to highlight the fact that even talented people can be anxious at times and they may need help to overcome anxiety. Yes, author has said this thing. This is true that even talented people can be anxious at times and they may need help. For her daughter, she has said that in particular manner that they would help her, they would help the daughter. But this is not relevant. The example is not given to explain this point of view. Right? The example is given to explain that there is double standard that she is applying if she judges her daughter in a particular fashion and judges someone else in some other fashion, doing the same thing. So B is the right answer, which says that to suggest that applying double standard to just different people who face a similar situation is not fair. Absolutely, this looks like the right answer. But let us see C and D. To compare her daughter Naomi Osaka, both are talented, both become anxious when they face the public. Is the example given to make the comparison? No, definitely not. Definitely not. Example is given to illustrate a point, and that point is option number B. What is B? To suggest that forcing someone against the will to do anything is not fair. Now, many people, many students have marked this as the answer. To suggest that forcing someone against the will to do anything is not fair, because here the author is saying that she will not push her daughter to go to stage if she doesn't want to. Because of that, people have marked this as the answer. But once again, was the example given to suggest this? Plus, there is another reason why this can't be the answer. To suggest that forcing someone against the will to do anything, that makes the option very extreme and rotten. The word anything, to do anything against the will, is not good. So that is rotten. Plus, anyways, this is not the reason why example is given. Okay. Question number 2. What can be said about the logical structure of the passage? So logical structure means how the passage has been arranged. Let us see. Author has analyzed the reaction to an event presenting views and counter views. Yes, this looks a very good option, but let us see the other options also. Author has described an event citing how it unfolded. Now, author has described an event citing how it unfolded. First thing, is it a description or analysis? Is it a description or analysis? Description means simply putting forth how things have gone. The author has analyzed the point of view. So this is definitely not description. Because of that, this won't be the answer. And citing it, how it unfolded. So the passage doesn't give me any chronology of how things happened. So because of 2 reasons, B can't be the answer. A, it is not the description, and B, the passage doesn't talk about how the event unfolded. See, author has analyzed the reaction to an event presenting partisan arguments. Partisan means one-sided or biased argument. So first part is right, but author has not presented the biased argument. In fact, author has given both sides of the coin. So this is something NT, what I called as a trap, NT. NT means opposite of what is being done in the passage. This can't be the answer. Author has described an event, again can't be the answer. A is the right answer. This was an easy question where several students got it right. Question number 3. Which of the following can be inferred from the paragraph every time Naomi plays? So we have to focus on this particular paragraph. What does this paragraph say? It says that every time Naomi plays, she is sacrificing her body, risking long-term injuries, and handling the mental and emotional stress of the mind games. So she is doing all these things beside the game. And she does all this while coming up with exceptional performance that have made her second-ranked tennis player in the world. What can I infer? Infer means something mentioned in the passage, but in a different language. Let us see. To be successful at highest level in tennis, one needs more than sporting skills. Yes, this can be definitely inferred because the first line says that beside playing the tennis, she is doing a lot of things, and most important thing is handling the mental and emotional stress. So this is definitely not the part of sporting skill. Mental and emotional stress is not sporting skill, but she has to handle it. So she is doing something more than sporting skill. So one is definitely can be inferred. 2. Naomi Osaka is the most skilled, is not the most skilled female tennis player in the world. Now it is given that she is second ranked tennis player, but just because she is second ranked tennis player, can I say she is not the most skilled? Remember, I don't know whether ranking is given on the basis of skill or performance. It is quite possible that Osaka is the most skilled female tennis player, but she has not played for past 2 years or 2 months or 6 months. I don't know on what basis we are saying we are giving the rank. So I can't comment on the skill level. So 2 can't be inferred. Answer is only 1. Which of the following is a logical corollary to the passage? What do we mean by logical corollary is how will the passage continue? So this particular line, if you have to complete this particular line, how will you complete it? So how to solve this question? We need to focus on what was mentioned in the previous line. The idea mentioned in the previous line that we need to understand. So idea mentioned here is that before this particular paragraph, it was said that why media duties should be added to tennis player. This paragraph says that why it should be added, gives answer to the question that was raised here. It says that because media hypes up the interest in a match, and because of this hype, fans watch these sports and pay money to watch these sports. See, so it is about fans paying money to watch the sports and role of media in doing that, right? So in continuation of this idea, what will come? A, the problem is that media deliberately provokes a player to get her to give a controversial reply. This can definitely be part of a passage, but will it follow this? What happens is, what we are talking is role that media is playing to build hype and making fans pay for the match. This is not the answer because this doesn't gel with the idea in the previous line. Second, the question is how many people can afford to pay such kind of money? Now looks a very tempting option that how many people can afford to pay such kind of money. But what is the idea? Idea is about the media playing the role, people paying the money, and something will happen. Why add the burden? It is answer to why we are asking tennis players to handle the burden of media duties. The counter argument means this passage, the last paragraph, sorry, will give answer to that particular question. So this doesn't answer. This is about whether people can pay the money or not. What we are looking for, why tennis players should handle media. Let us see the C option. That is what makes those $1 million paydays for tennis player possible. Yes, this looks a very good option. Why? Because I am looking for an option which tells me that why tennis players should handle media. And this tells me that they should handle media because people pay to watch matches. People pay because media builds hype around it. And because of why people pay, tennis players make million of dollars. So this is the right answer. What is D? Many people have marked D also. This was a difficult question. So people marked B and D as the right choices, so a few students. So what is D? But for the fans, watching Osaka play is worth such pay. Is it answering my question? What was my question? It is not answering that. My question is why she should be handling the media pressure. And you are saying that fans, for the fans, it is complete paisa vasuli. Plus this part is anyways given. This would be repetition of idea. It is already given. So this line would be repetition of the same thing, right? So answer is option number C. Last, which of the following professional in her action will Naomi Osaka most likely empathize? Now, what Naomi Osaka has done here is that she is ready to perform the duty related to her profession, that is playing sports, but she is not ready to face the media, a secondary duty that is being forced on her perhaps. So we need to look at the option wherein a professional is not performing a secondary duty that is perhaps pushed on her. Let us see. The step of a doctor to not turn up for complex surgery because complex surgery make her nervous. Can this be the answer? No. Why? Because surgery is the primary duty of the doctor. So Osaka has not turned down the request to play the sports. She is ready to play the sports. She is saying, I won't face the media. So this can't be the answer. Look at B. The step of a teacher to not turn up for taking the classes on a complex topic because complex topics make her nervous. Can this be the answer? No. Again, this can't be the answer because the primary duty of teacher is taking classes. This can't be the answer. Option number C, the step of member of parliament to not turn up for discussing a complex bill in the parliament because controversies make her nervous. Again, a member of parliament's primary duty is to discuss the bill or attend the proceedings of parliament. Can't turn down that. D is the right answer. Why? Because D talks about an actress. The step of an actress to not turn up for the promotional event organized by the producers of her movie because such events make her nervous. Absolutely right. Why? Because actress, the primary duty is to act, not to promote the movie. So she can turn that down according to what Naomi Osaka's action is. So that is it for today, guys. I will request you that if you want me to cover passage from any particular field, please post it in the description box. Please post it in the description box. I will cover it next week. All right. Thank you very much.